Hello and welcome to the Munce Report this week. It's been a big week, Cup week obviously, and a lot of trials on Monday. As usual, Chris Munce joins us to give us all the latest news on the stable and preview the weekend's action. Mate, no joy on the Cup, but you redeemed yourself yesterday with the Kathy Munce-owned Royal Sheen, who scored a dominant win out at Kilcoy.
Yeah, no, it was good to see him finally break through and win. He's been knocking on the door his first couple of runs back, and you know, as you're well aware, he's had a bit of misfortune a few times now. He's went to the races with losing his shoe and then getting scratched to the barriers and whatnot. But he made up for it yesterday. He won very easily, and it was good to get a bit of confidence in him now. We'll probably, just look for a nice Wednesday race there for him to keep him just going through his grades nicely.
Yeah, she's been very patient, Kathy. So she got the chocolates yesterday, and more importantly, did you get a sling from the owner at all?
No. I had to cook dinner and everything, so it was all very good. But the horse himself, like the trophy, was a bit different, something I've never seen before, a loaf of bread, but it was much appreciated.
Very good. Hopefully you tucked into that with your dinner. All right, mate. And I guess there was also a couple of notable mentions on Cup Day. Shooting Roses was competitive in her race.
Shooting Roses went incredible. I thought rail out 10 metres, sitting 3 wide the trip. Loomed to win on straightening, but then the last bit of condition just blew out, which was probably entitled to do. So certainly couldn't knock her run at all. I thought it was very brave under the circumstances, and she's only going to improve off that for sure.
And also Scathing was sent out favourite for his first up assignment. What did you make of that run?
Yeah, well, I thought he went good also. I mean, he had a big weight to carry, 61 kilos, and they went very, very slow the first 600 and really quickened up the straight the last 400 metres, which, you know, when you've got that sort of weight to carry, it's like a big steamboat. You sort of got to get your momentum going, and you can't really sit and sprint. So I thought his effort to still hold on and run third was very brave. And I'd like to hope with this guy we can get him out to a trip this preparation. I'd love to try and get him out to a mile to 2,000 metres if possible.
Okay, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he comes through the run into his second up run. Let's get into the preview for the weekend. Lots of action everywhere. There's Sunshine Coast meeting on Friday with 4 runners engaged. Doomben on Saturday with 3 runners. The Gold Coast 4 runners, also a couple of dual acceptors there, and also the Sunshine Coast on Sunday. So Friday night at the Gold Coast, Iconista is entered for a benchmark 65 with Larry Cassidy aboard, drawn barrier 4, and she's obviously been unlucky, missing a couple of runs there due to circumstances over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, the wet weather and the washouts certainly hasn't helped her preparation this far. But you know, she'll run tomorrow night at Caloundra. The cool air, I think, will suit her up there, and she's drawn nicely with Larry to ride. So just as long as she gets a nice run in behind him, I'll be looking for her to be finishing a race off. She may just blow out in condition the last 100 metres, but I've sort of kept her up to the mark as best I can without being able to get a race into her.
Sure. The Colts, Geldings and Entire's maiden handicap over 1,200 metres sees the Landing make his debut alongside stablemate One More Pinot, who's 4th up here. Larry Cassidy engaged on One More Pinot and just TBC for a jockey on the Landing there.
Yeah, well, the Landing's a really nice horse, by Dawn Approach, taking a bit of time. He's just been very immature mentally. He gets himself quite worked up, and he was originally bought as a breeze-up horse, but it never worked out, so we've just kept him. We've had to be a bit patient with him, but he's a lovely, big moving horse. 1,200 is probably going to be too short for him tomorrow night, but the fact he's drawn well, I love Caloundra there to kick him off and get him going, give him a good educational run, and he'll be thereabouts. I'm sure he'll run very competitively, but I'll be probably looking for him to get out over a mile, 2,000 metres later on into his prep. One More Pinot, he'll have the addition of blinkers tomorrow night, and I'm really looking forward to this guy with the blinkers on. His work's been quite sharp. I thought his run the last start was a bit disappointing compared to his first 2, but certainly with the blinkers added, and Larry knows the horse well now, I'd expect a big improvement tomorrow night.
Okay, very good. Galvarino, second up in the Colts, Geldings and Entire's benchmark 58 handicap, stepping up from 1,200 metres to the 1,300 metres here, also with Larry Cassidy to ride.
Yeah, well, this horse was sort of affected by a stop-start race the other day. He pulled very hard mid-race and got his head up and raced ungenerously. So I just hope tomorrow night that he gets a smooth run in transit. his work's been very good, this guy. I wouldn't say that he's out of a race like this. He certainly worked, excuse me, as well as any horse you'd want to see going into this race. So I just hope that he gets a nice, smooth run into the race, and he's given his chance to finish off the last, 200-300 metres.
Okay, very good, mate. So then we move over to Doomben on Saturday, where 3 runners engaged, and kicking things off is the exciting 2-year-old BERDINI'S girl off the back of her impressive debut victory. How's she been since that win and heading into this, which is obviously a step up in Class C?
Yeah, really happy with this filly. She'll go to the paddock after Saturday, win, lose or draw. I'm actually going to roll the dice and try and get her ready for the Millennium in March. So that's a bit exciting with her. But it was certainly no fluke that she won at Caloundra. She's a really nice filly. She's just so laid back and just goes about her business. You don't even know that she's in the stables. And as I said, it was certainly no fluke. And I wouldn't be surprised to see her run a similar race there on Saturday. And there's a few unraced horses there, which I think will need to be at their best to beat her on Saturday.
Very good. So win, lose or draw, she goes for a break, and then obviously all roads lead to that Millennium race. That's
right. Yeah, she was bought from that English Classic sale. So so long as she can have the prize money to qualify and get in that race, and the owners are agreeable, I'd have no reason why not to at least roll the dice and have a go.
Worth a lot of prize money, that race. So I'd say the big ownership group will be agreeable. That's exciting times for everyone involved there. People that have already had some exciting times are the connections of the BOOMSARA, and he lines up here in an open quality handicap over the 1350 with Larry Cassidy to ride. He was one of a big team of horses that trialled at Eagle Farm on Tuesday and went to the line nicely.
Yeah, I thought he trialled really well Tuesday. It was certainly a big improvement on what he'd been doing. He's a lot fitter now. Unfortunately, he's probably struck a race again where there's a lot of other crazy speed in there, the likes of Fiery Heights and Emerald Kingdom. They'll go 200 miles an hour as they normally do, and it's sort of set up for a very, very fast run race. So Larry's going to have to be a bit mindful of that. BOOMSARA obviously likes to roll 40s first as well, but he's certainly not set in stone as to how he has to race. So look, at the end of the day, I'll just have to probably leave the ride up to Larry. All I know is the horse is very fit and healthy, and he'll run a hell of a race on Saturday.
Yeah, exciting to see him back at the races. And then in the last race, race 9, as Colts Geldings and Entires benchmark 80 handicap over the 1200, where Widespread lines up, and he also trialled impressively at Eagle Farm on Tuesday, but unfortunately he's drawn barrier 16 here with Larry Cassidy aboard.
Yeah, so I've just got to have to think about whether we run him or not. As we mentioned, the horse is going really well. The options are obviously this following Saturday, 1100 metre Class 6, where, he could draw out there as well. So at this point, there's 3 scratchings, which sort of brings him into 13. It's still not ideal. But look, I still haven't made a firm commitment as to whether I run him or not. I just want to see what the weather does and just see how the race unfolds the next 24 hours. But if he does take his place, he'll run very well. There's no doubt about that. He's just going to need a bit of luck from an awkward draw.
Yeah, sure. Obviously going well. And don't want to waste a run there. Then we head over to Gold Coast on Saturday. Tanned In is second up here after a nice run first up. This is a cutest 3-year-old maiden handicap over the 1100 metres, barrier 4 with Alan Chow to ride.
Yeah, she went super first up, this filly. Really pleased with the way she went. She obviously appreciated the dry track and the good barrier draw. She come out a little bit tardily. So I'm sort of hoping Saturday she jumps a bit cleaner, but I still wouldn't be rushing her to the lead. I think she's a better filly if we can sort of give her a chance to travel and in behind the speed there early. And she's a big striding filly for a better than ready. But I've got no doubt that she can win a race in the next start or two.
Okay, move over to race 5 on the program at the Gold Coast, which is a maiden plate over the 1400 metres. The Landing's also engaged here, but we've already spoken about him likely racing Friday night. And Captain's Oath. Drawn barrier 10 for Ryan Wiggins, and he's third up here.
Yeah, well, this horse the other day when Justin rode him probably was ridden a little bit upside down because there was no speed in the race. We thought we would use a bit of his natural speed that he does have, and I don't really think it worked with this horse. I think he's the kind of horse he needs to be given a chance early, get back, find his feet and finish off as he's done in his trials. He's also going to have an addition of blinkers on. on Saturday, and his work's been good enough to be competitive in a maiden company race like this. So he's probably going to need a bit of luck from an awkward draw again. But Wigo's riding very well, and I'm sure he'll give him the good sort of ride that he needs.
Very good. Also, Iconista is also entered. We've already spoken about her racing at the Sunshine Coast on Friday night. Then that takes us to Sunshine Coast on Sunday, where 3 Point Missile, who was another good run last week, so he's on the quick backup here in a maiden plate. That was 1,100 metres last week, and back to the 1,000 here with Ryan Wiggins aboard, but drawn 14.
Yeah, well, look, Wigo's just going to have to ride the horse as he finds him. He was up sort of just behind the leaders at the Gold Coast the other day and looked to have his chance, but I don't know if he will be that close on Sunday from an awkward draw. I think Wigo's probably just going to have to give him a very good ride. He's been very frustrating, as we mentioned last week, this horse, but certainly can gallop. But I just don't know how much of a desire the horse has got, but he's got the ability there. If we could just get it out of him, he'd win plenty of races. Yeah,
obviously placed in 8 of 15, so he's been in the money. Just needs to find that extra little bit, doesn't he? Yeah,
he does. Yeah.
And then we move over to the last one on for the stable in race 5, which is HAIRDO, who's a Schnitzel filly, 3-year-old filly, lines up in a fillies and mares maiden handicap over the 1,200 metres for her first up assignment, and trialled well leading into this.
She did. I thought the other day the trial was quite good. They went very fast. She battled on quite well late there, I thought. So she'll go to the races on Sunday, very fit with a good draw. I'm sure Larry will be able to posse her up in the right sort of spot, either in front or just behind the leaders. And I've got no doubt she'll be pretty genuine right through the line and be competitive in a race like this.
Very good, mate. Well, that's the wrap for the weekend. That's the preview. Lots of runners going all around the place. So best of luck to yourself and Connections.
Good on you. Thanks, Adam.